God damn.
What's up, sexy YouTubers? Cool Hand Snook here, and I'll just be commentating over this Black Ops 2 gameplay submitted by Philadelphia Gamer, and later the MW3 gameplay submitted by a Shady Wolf. So today what I'll be doing is a live story. I haven't done one of these in a little while, so felt like doing it. And I promise the top 5 women is coming, but I kind of got to like balance between the two schedules, between me and my wife and all that stuff. Anyway, let's get into the video. So today's live story is about my first time ever watching porn. Now, technically, my first time watching porn was with my retarded uncle, who's actually mentally retarded. I'm not just calling him a name. But one day he was just watching porn in the living room like at noon or something like that, and I was about 4 or 5 years old. I walk in and I'm like, "Hey, Uncle Clint, what you watching?" And I look at the TV screen and just people having sex and stuff like that. And I knew that it was people having sex because my mom had explained what sex was to me. But I didn't really respond to it because my dick didn't work yet, you know. I was only like 4 or 5, so I didn't get like a full hard-on or anything like that. So I walk up to him and I'm like, "What you watching?" He's like, "Oh, just some nudie movies," because that's what he called them. I was like, "Oh, okay." So I just sat next to him, and he's just sitting there eating like corn nuts or something, kind of ironic. And I just sit next to him, and we're watching porn together. And then my aunt comes in the room maybe 2-3 minutes later or something like that, and flips the TV off and yells at Clint and puts me in the other room and stuff. So that was technically my first time watching porn. But, you know, it doesn't really count because I didn't even really understand fully what I was looking at, or I didn't appreciate what I was looking at, you know. The next time I watched porn, so the next time was when I was about 9 or 10. I'm thinking it was around 9. I used to go to my best friend's house all the time. His name was Andrew. And he had this older brother named Anthony, and we were always just like having a bunch of fun, riding bikes, hanging out together and stuff. We'd go over there, and Anthony and me and him would all wrestle together. I know it sounds very homoerotic, and it was, but so we would be playing together and having a good time. And one day I go over there, and Anthony's locked in his room. And I ask Andrew, I'm like, "Dude, what's up with Anthony? How come he's not out here playing and stuff like that?" Because Anthony at the time, you got to understand, we were about 9 or 10. Anthony was more like 14, 15 years old. But he enjoyed hanging out with us and stuff like that because I was his little brother's friend and all that. So anyway, he was locked in his room. Andrew tells me, well, it's because ever since he brought home a DVD that his friend gave him, he just hasn't been coming out of his room. He's probably jerking off. At the time, I didn't even know what jerking off was, really. My mom explained sex. She didn't explain masturbation because I guess she didn't want me jerking off all the time. You know, jerking my little kid wiener off in the bathroom all over the toilet seat and stuff, you know what I mean? So I asked him, I was like, "What are you talking about? What's jerking off?" And he's like, "You don't know what jerking off is? Where you take your wiener in your hand, you go real fast with your hand until white stuff comes out your dick?" And I was just like, "No, I never did that." He's like, "Well, whatever. He's probably doing it in his room." He's like, "You want to see?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So he busts the door open because Anthony didn't really have a lock on his door. He just would like close his door and then put a towel like at the crack at the bottom so that it'd be kind of difficult to open, just so that you knew not to come in. So we just kind of busted the door open, and he was sitting there with his dick in his hand and we like watching his TV, and he's like, "Oh, get out, get out, get out." And he got all mad, right? So we leave and we're like giggling to each other and stuff like a bunch of queers. And so he comes out maybe like 5 minutes later or something, and he's like, "You want to see what I was watching?" I guess he really wasn't that mad about it. He just didn't want us to watch him jacking off. So he comes out, and he brings us into the room. And so I'm like, "Okay, what were you watching?" So he starts up the DVD, and there's like the little intro or whatever. I don't remember what it was exactly. But so I see kind of like the first thing, because I guess this porno was kind of hardcore. I don't know. But I've seen a number of pornos since then, and this one isn't the worst I've seen. I've seen shock videos and all that kind of stuff too, but it was pretty graphic considering it was the first porno I ever saw. This dude was just like chowing down on this chick's butthole, right? Like literally, like he looked like he was in a buffet. He was just like, like really fast. Like it was weird. It looked like his head was motorized and it was going so fast, like between this chick's butt cheeks. It was ridiculous. So he's just chowing down on this chick's butt. And then some other chick comes out, and I'm like, "Oh, damn, he's about to get both of them." Because I was kind of feeling sick watching this dude chat on this chick's butt, but I was like, okay, well, this other chick came out. He's going to pull his face out of this chick's butt, and then he's going to, like, plow both of them, right? Not exactly. So the dude is chowing down the chick's butt. The other chick comes out, and she's carrying, like, a strap on. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, they're about to tag team this chick. I think you know where this is going. That's not what happened either. So this chick straps on this giant, huge dildo. And the dude kind of looks back at her and like grins and gets back down to chewing on this chick's butthole or whatever. And this chick with the huge dildo. Now this thing is like the size of my forearm, and I'm a small guy, but I mean it's a forearm. You know what I'm saying? Not a, I don't know. It was just ridiculous. So she comes up and she starts just, she sticks the whole thing in this dude's butt. Like she just starts ramming this dude, and I was just like, oh God, like I was sickened by it. And I just ran out of the room. I had to get out. Like, I ran out of the room. I went into the bathroom, and I just threw up. Like, this is my first experience watching porn, man. And it was like I got sickened by it. I was just throwing up. I couldn't handle it. Because, I mean, to my own credit, I could have watched two girls go at it, or a guy and a girl go at it in a regular fashion or whatever, or your typical porn fashion. But for the first time, me watching porn, to see a dude get boned in the ass with a strap on, I wasn't ready. I couldn't deal with that yet. I was still excited about kissing girls, much less getting boned in the ass by them. So I got really sick. But then after that, I started going back like more often than I usually did. Like I would go back to their house like every day and be like, dude, where's that DVD at? And I'd want to finish it. And eventually, I got probably halfway through. We never got to watch it for very long increments or anything, but eventually I got about halfway through, and I just couldn't watch anymore because it was just a weird, like everything they had in there was weird. So, but that's my first porn story. If you laughed at my misfortune, that's completely okay. Just please leave a like and a comment, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I will talk to you sexies later. Bye.